you say you wanna lock me down. I wanna run away. Your twisted fantasy can't keep your hands off me. You knew I'd let you in. You knew how much I need. Danger, danger, danger. Danger, danger. Don't let me down. Danger, danger, danger. You're danger, danger. Don't let me down. Feel like there's no escape. Lie here and suffocate. You like to push me around while I try not to break. You love the things I say. You love the way I'm begged. If I showed all my sins, you turn and walk away. I feel you in my bones. You were all I know. Skin to skin. I feel you in my bones. You were all I know. Skin to skin and hand to throw. Danger, danger, danger. You're danger, danger. Don't let me down.
really the devil as a pagan symbol for protection, if you will.
Excellent. What's she on about? Oh, hello.
Hi, guys.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to another I'll Have You Know podcast with myself, Kev, and Jace over there. Say hello, Jace.
What's happening, guys?
What's happening? So what are we doing? What's going on?
Well, tonight I thought we would do Disney. Not just like, we're not going to talk about cartoons. I mean, we are, but we're not going to talk about just
sake,
cartoons.
mate. I'm going now. I want to talk about cartoons.
We're going to, right from the beginning on a little bit of conspiracy, a little bit of history on them. Probably something that you didn't know about two Disney cartoons and just various random shit, honestly.
Hello, Charlotte. Hello, Tanisha. Welcome in.
Charlotte T, what's happening?
So, do you want to give a little spiel of how he fucking came about and stuff like that? And we'll go from there.
He came about, Kevin, when a mommy and daddy loves each other very much. Anyway, in 1901, he was born in Chicago, Illinois. So he was American, despite many people thinking that he was German. And a lot of people thought he was German due to his views, which we'll get into. I think he always wanted to be a creator, like a news article man or pictures, drawing, stuff like that. But before all that, at 16 years old in 1918, he wanted to join the army, World War I, to fight the Germans.
At 16, so
yeah, 16. So because he was 16, he had to forge his date of birth. And when he eventually signed his date of birth, or forged it, sorry, he was then sent in 1918 over to France, but he only got there in time for the armistice. So he became an ambulance driver, part of the Red Cross. When he was there, because of the armistice, he used to draw little sketches on the sides of ambulances and sides of equipment and stuff like that. And that led to him publishing his first news article, which was the Stars and Stripes. So that was, I don't know nothing about that. I didn't look into it. Honestly, it sounded too American, and I wasn't really interested.
So how long did he serve? Did he serve through the whole of the First World War, or was it just...
He served at the end. So when he arrived in France, that was when he thought he was going to fight the Germans for World War I, the Great War. But it was the end. It was the armistice when he arrived.
Oh, so, sorry, mate. I totally missed you saying that. Sorry.
Yeah. So, basically, after that, after he published his first news article, The Stars and Stripes, he got recognition for it. And him and his brother Roy, they created Disney Arts in 1923. 1923. Fuck.
Dude, that's nearly 100 years ago.
Right? In fact, you know what? It probably is about that, because was David Attenborough and Queen Elizabeth, they're both 99, aren't they? And David Attenborough was born in 1924. So yeah, it would have been about 100 years ago.
Fucking hell, man. Fucking hell.
Hey, White's the same age.
I know. My nan's the fucking same age, dude. That's fucking scary.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mickey Mouse. Everybody thought that was his... Yeah, there you go. For the older heads. Disney's first production was actually Alice's Wonderland. It was trippy. It had a small girl that done the sketches. So they basically sat around and sketched the little girl for a while. So it sounds weird, I guess. Yeah, but Mickey Mouse was created in 1928 and gained a mass cult following, mainly because it was one of the first pictures or videos that had sound in it. And all it was whistling, a little bit of music. And people were rallying around that shit. They were loving that, you know?
You got to think that's like new age shit. That's like us watching fucking The Matrix for the first time, or do you know what I mean? And seeing the Titanic or Jurassic Park scene. You know, nobody had seen this shit before. The photos were just like a thing.
Well, that's it. It was one of the wee rubber things you you wind up and it spins in a wheel and a light and all that shit.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. It's old. I've seen it in a museum.
So what was it? Was it shown before a movie, or was it like one of those things? You know, like because that's what they did.
It was actually it was a small production. Whistling Willie. What was it? What did you call it? Whistling Willie, wasn't it?
Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie. So that's what that initially was what it was, and they continued on and created Mickey Mouse, and it became it was like a 5 to 6 minute feature length because it had sound. There was so much to be put onto them little reels that they had. They couldn't do so much of it. So 5 to 6 minutes, and that was a full length feature for anybody wanting to watch it. And most people would go to the theater or the cinema just to watch that 5 to 6 minute thing, and then they would go on with their daily lives. It was mental.
It's crazy to think that was entertainment back then. Like imagine showing one of our kids now, they'd look at us like, "What the fuck are you on about?" Do you know what I mean? And it's like, even to us that growing up, it was like, "What?"
Well, for anybody that does have Disney Plus, it's on Disney Plus. The original,
really? Okay.
Yeah, the original sketch, the original Mickey Mouse, it was there. It's there, and it even progressed into different episodes. It's on Disney Plus.
Wow, that's really interesting. Actually, I've got Disney Plus. I might have to check that out. To be honest,
it's weird to watch. Honestly, it's so weird to watch.
I can imagine it's fucking compared to what's around now, it's insane. So obviously that was like the start of animation. Did they have the company up and running then, or was it just him and his brother at the time to make that?
Yeah. So him and his brother Roy, they just did the sketches. The company didn't get full backing until the 1935, I think it was, and the first full length feature film was in 1937. And that was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Which
there's something you want to go on about through that, isn't there?
Yes. So anybody
do you want to lead into something else, or do you want to go from that? No, go from that. How you told me.
We'll do the Golden Age. The Golden Age was between 1934 and 1941. And the most notable films back then were Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, and Bambi. That was the major ones throughout the golden era that jump-started Disney.
Yeah. Fantasia was a weird film, man.
Yeah, that was something.
It's something.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. Honestly, I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
I'd have to watch that again.
Okay, so Snow White.
Snow White, yeah. So everybody that's watching the podcast right now, without a doubt, has seen Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Know something about it.
But so they watch it, they see it. It could be creepy. Could be some guy kissing some unconscious chick. Either way you want to look at it, it's dodgy.
Sleeping Beauty, you moron.
Snow White was dead at the end, and the guy came out of nowhere and kissed her in the end.
That was Sleeping Beauty.
That was Snow White as well.
Was it?
Yeah. Poison apple, passed out. So basically, Walt Disney decided to drug a chick, pass her out, and get some random guy to kiss her when she's unconscious. Great.
A little bit rapey.
A little bit. So, despite wanting to fight the Germans in World War I, Walt Disney had a personal friend, or he befriended someone who became a close personal friend to Walt Disney. And that was Adolf Hitler, believe it or not. So, despite being anti-Semitist, which we'll go into, the two characters, Bashful and Doc, the two wee dwarves, were actually created and signed by Adolf Hitler. So Adolf Hitler created Doc and Bashful. Two of the most random characters. Yeah, exactly.
Probably the most well-known characters from the Dwarfs, to be honest.
And it was Adolf Hitler that created both of them.
Did he create them as in design them, or did he create their actual characters? That's what I'm...
So there was controversy around which one he did, but if you look into a little bit more of the research into it, he actually just created the characters himself. He drew the characters. So anybody that knows anything about Hitler back then, he initially wanted to be an artist and an architect. So I think he kind of shared that light with Walt Disney at the time. Bearing in mind, this was before Hitler went all fucking mad cunt in World War II, you know?
Yeah.
So that was so he actually created both the characters. He actually in 1941 he sent correspondence to Walt Disney with ideas and sketches for Pinocchio. He had a small part in creating Pinocchio, 1941. That's mental to think.
Man. That is insane to think about it. It's like before all what happened with the war and where I can't remember. I don't know much about, like, I've never looked into the history of Hitler and stuff like that, or where he was before the war, or what level he was at. Or
I know a little bit. He actually was homeless before the war. The reason why he joined the army was because he was homeless. His parents wanted him to be an upstanding citizen that worked hard, but he wanted to be an architect and an artist, and they didn't like that. His father died after abuse, and then his mother died. He left. He became homeless in the streets of Austria. He actually ended up in Vienna, where he was homeless for a while, and then he was recruited by the Third Reich, and then that's when everything spiraled out of control, and
so
everybody else knows the rest.
Sounds like a brainwashing kind of system that fucking led him to the way he was, in a way, doesn't it? Because he was homeless, he didn't have a family anymore. And anyway, that's a different fucking story. Let's go back to Disney.
That's a different podcast that we could probably get
into. Yeah. He was a full dunce. Yeah. Yes, I mean, he was. Yes, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. He. Anyway, that's a different podcast. We can definitely get into that some other time. I'd love to dick on that prick. Anyway, Walt Disney wasn't actually a saint. Despite being an American hero, because he started Disney, he was an all-American, all this and that. He was well known for whitewashing, sexism, his anti-Jew views, plagiarism, and his fascist induction of cartoons. He actually created quite a few World War II cartoons just to kind of incite a little bit more for propaganda.
Yeah,
mental, absolutely mental.
But again, I mean, saying like brainwashing, that's what a lot of propaganda, like subliminal messages and stuff like that were.
Yeah, so if you look into anything about Disneyland, which was made in 1955, that's well known for brainwashing, 100% well known for brainwashing. As soon as you walk through the door, you're getting, I think it's infrared and kind of Bluetoothy subliminal versus waves and shit like that, and smells and sort of various wordings and stuff, and it's all brainwashing. It was all proved that it was brainwashing.
Well, you got the music constantly going and stuff like that, so it's like, it
wasn't just for for children; it was adults as well. That's how it just kind of progressed that way, you know. Mental. Absolutely mental.
That's probably why adults still get excited about Disney and still get excited about.
I fucking do.
This is one Disney. Thing. Like, obviously, we're guys. We're not just going to jump in and say fucking hate Disney and stuff like that. You know, a lot of it was my childhood growing up. You know, the films and stuff.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah.
You know, there was some things that genuinely fucking amazed me watching it. Do you know what I mean? I do love Disney films. I do love Disney in certain aspects, but I think Disney, because it's branched out like with Lucasfilms and stuff, like gone on with Star Wars, and
they Disney actually own LucasArts and Marvel. They own Pixar. It. So what they own is ABC. They own 80% of ESPN. They own the Touchstone Pictures, which they're well known for making films. And notably, if anybody hasn't seen it, Yellowstone, which is a great fucking TV show with Kevin Costner. They own, it's really good. They own Marvel, LucasArts, A&E, 50% of that, 50% of History Channel, and 50% of Lifetime. They own Pixar, Hollywood Records, 10% of Vice Media, and they own Core Publishing. So they mainly own a lot of media companies, basically. I mean, they after the death of Walt Disney in 1966, because it was still under Disney, it fell to Roy, the brother of Walt. When he died in 1971, that's when everybody started taking shareholders, and then the Disney family no longer had anything to do with Disney. They don't even have a stake in it or shares or anything like that. They have nothing to do with Disney now. The biggest group that own Disney right now are the Vanguard Group with 138.7 million stakes. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's fucking wow.
Yeah,
wow.
That's a shit ton.
Like I said before this, I looked up how much Disney's worth, and I think it was 122 billion, which, like I said to Jace earlier, like I don't think that's that much for how big the company is. Like profit margins, that's not huge, is it? Really? I mean, I'm talking. It's a lot of fucking money, dude. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's a lot of money. Fucking right, it's a lot of money.
When you look at the wealth in this world and what like certain companies have, it's not even touching some of the companies out there, to be honest.
No.
Interesting.
I think that's the revenue of Disney alone. That's not what Disney own. So I would assume, like, because I know that LucasArts, Disney do own LucasArts, but a lot of things, and for anybody that doesn't know, LucasArts is Star Wars. George Lucas created that in the early 70s when he made the first Star Wars New Hope. But a lot of the things that go through LucasArts, i.e. Disney, still kind of goes through George Lucas as well. Like, he still has a massive say in what gets done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, with The Mandalorian, for instance, Disney owned LucasArts, but Mandalorian, which was a Star Wars thing, that was created by Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau, because he created it, had more of a stake in Mandalorian, but Disney was funding it. So, I mean, there was a lawsuit down there that involved Gino Incarno. She was a well-known MMA fighter. The lawsuit went on because she had political views that Disney didn't like. So Disney cut her short. It's it was a whole massive thing, but yeah, so Disney, despite
I will put it out there. She's fucking gorgeous, man.
Gino Incarno is a savage. Have you ever seen her fight?
Mate, she could wrap her legs around me anytime she wanted to, mate. I would drink her fucking bathwater, mate. No offense. No, I'm joking.
I bet you're not, though.
I'm not, no. But The Mandalorian, anyway, is fucking awesome. Whoever else.
Mandalorian is fantastic.
I still need to watch more of it, but it's so fucking good.
You need to watch it, get to season 2, and as soon as you get to the end of season 2, there's going to be a third season of Mandalorian.
Yeah, I've just seen that they're filming it. I haven't seen season 2. I've watched season 1, I loved it, and I've got to watch season 2 yet. But
so season 2 is fantastic because they've reintroduced a character. I'm not going to say they reintroduced a character. You watch it to the end, and you watch it past the credits a little bit, and then it shows you the character kind of assuming a position, and that's going to be the next in December. This December coming, that character brings his own spin-off to the Star Wars verse, and Disney have a big stake in that because everybody's so excited about it.
Okay,
oh my God, dude, I'm excited.
I'll leave it there because I don't want to get it spoiled or anything like that. So
absolutely.
So going back to what we were going to, so going back to the Hitler stage and all that, we passed that. Yeah. So now Disney's dead.
Disney died, yeah. So he died in 1966. Massive lung cancer. He bear in mind, he was 16 when he joined the Great War, World War One. Obviously, he had to forge his date of birth just so he could join. But back then, they heavily promoted smoking.
Yeah, it was normalization. There was no health risk. There was nothing like that. It was
no. So like, there was, but they owned their own set of health doctors when it came to smoking. So they promoted absolute healthy health. Like, if you don't smoke, it's not healthy, and they promoted it. Doctors done it, soldiers, scientists, everybody. So he took up heavy smoking in 1918. And he progressed that over and over, and he was seen in almost everything that he was done in media. He was smoking, So he
I saw a lot of obviously doing a bit of research and stuff. Every photo I saw of Disney, he pretty much had a cigarette in his hand. So
100%. So in 1966, he actually died from lung cancer. Now, despite like an absolute massive rumor, and everybody's heard this at some point in their life, that Walt Disney was frozen, he entertained the idea of cryogenics and wanted to freeze himself for modern society to bring him back out of it and rejuvenate cells through modern science.
Yeah.
He died before that happened. He was cremated, 100% cremated. There was a biop made by Walt Disney's daughter in 1972, where she confirmed that he was actually cremated. He wasn't frozen. He's not frozen under the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, or he's not in the Pirates of the Caribbean set frozen behind a boat or some shit. Like he's dust.
He is dust.
He got what his friend was promoting, dust.
Yeah. For fuck's sake. So right, okay. So anyway, just a quick one. What's your favorite Disney film?
Lion King.
Why?
So I'm not talking about Jon Favreau's excellent rendition of the live action Lion King. I'm talking about the 1994 animated series with
James Earl
Mufasa or Darth Vader.
Vader's voice, just so we know.
What's his name? Ferris Bueller. What's his name again?
Oh, Matthew. No, what's he? Matthew Broderick.
That's the one. He
that
was
is
Simba.
It, yeah,
he played Simba. So that's my favorite one. That was back then, 1994. I was 3 years old at the time when that came out. How old were you, Kev?
When was it?
1994.
I was 15, mate.
Anyway, what's your favorite?
My favorite, I don't think people would understand why, but the Sword in the Stone was my favorite film.
I loved it. Fucking loved it.
It was magic. It was, they were turning into animals, and you know the whole two wizards fighting at the end. And
did you ever see the second one?
The second one?
Yeah, it's not called Sword in the Stone 2. It's I never seem to remember what it's called. It's the second one, and it's not as good as the first one, but it's got like dragons, and it's all about Excalibur and how when Arthur gets the throne and all that. It's really fucking good. Like,
you know, I probably have watched it. I probably have seen it. What was I going to say? I think my fucking parents must have thought I was weird because I liked films like. Don't get me wrong, I loved all Lion King and stuff like that, but like I loved Sword in the Stone, man. There was one called the Black Cauldron as well. That was
that's right.
Kind of. Yeah, do you remember the Black Cauldron? That was like
that was that big fucking dog one.
Yeah, it's a really dark version of a Disney film, and that really. And there was another one. What was it fucking called? I can't for the life of me think of it. But those were the films that I was like. I like the darker side of things. Do you know what I mean? The scarier. But Sword in the Stone, like even now, like I watched it with my daughter growing up, and I'm gonna. Like hopefully get my son to sit still for fucking 3 minutes and watch it soon. But
yeah, I loved Pinocchio. Pinocchio was fantastic. I loved Pinocchio.
Great film.
But I didn't.
I think the whole concept of Pinocchio is really good as well. The whole lion thing, and, you know, turning into donkeys and stuff. That's right, isn't it? When they
so was I drinking the fucking. I mean, there's a lot of see. Back to the fact that Hitler kind of had ideas in that, you can kind of see that with certain aspects of Pinocchio. There was the slavery, there was the mad camp, there was the child snatcher, and you know that's all German myth. So but
there was a lot of stuff like that involved with Disney. You've got to look at like the Dumbo thing with, you know, when they get drunk and it was all the
Dumbo was a thing. No, Dumbo was a thing there. What is that on the screen?
I don't know. Stretch, sort out.
Yeah, Stretch. Come on, man. Fuck. Jesus, Dumbo was getting made during World War II, and it didn't get a lot of funding because of World War II. So that wasn't actually popular back then. That only became popular in the late 50s.
Right. Okay. There was also stuff with you got to look at the racism side of Dumbo as well, like the ravens, and was it the ravens or the crows? Wasn't it? And they were like
the three of them or something, wasn't it? That's right. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like there was a lot of, Walt Disney was known for his sexism, his whitewashing, his anti-Semitic views, anti-Jew views, the racism and stuff like that. Yeah. And obviously it's outdated cartoons, but it's cartoons we all grew up watching. And you don't think about that sort of shit when you watch it. I mean, I don't.
Of course not.
I just watch it and I see entertainment, you know?
Dude, when I was a kid, I never looked at racism. I never looked at anything like that. It was entertainment. Do you know what I mean? And it's only now that as you get older and you see a lot of stuff that's going on that you actually start going, actually, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot more.
There's certain things that most people can get butthurt over from watching them now. And I'm like, well, don't watch it. Don't make a big view out of it. But a lot of people, like myself, can watch it and I don't see anything there. I see humor. That's it. That's like, that was humor back then, you know?
Yeah.
It's like watching Only Fools and Horses. That's outdated humor. It probably couldn't be shown right now, you know?
No.
It is what it is. Humor is humor.
It is, and it is something that's happened. It's something that we can never change. Yeah, you might not be able to make it viewable, but it's still been out there. It's still been seen. It's still affected different people in different ways, you know? And I don't know. It's a crazy one. But anyway, like with Disney, there's also what I've been looking into a very, very much darker side as well. In a lot of the animation, there's a lot of, I said earlier, subliminal messages and symbolism and stuff like that that's going on. Yeah. I mean, even in films like Lilo and Stitch, there's a certain scene in Lilo and Stitch where she's laying on her bed and she's comforting Lilo, her sister, but in the background on the wall there's loads of photos over the wall, but all the photos on the wall has asses and tits, and that's all it is. It's literally pictures of butts and tits and stuff like that. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, and then you look at in the Lion King, there's a part in the Lion King, see, this is why, like when you said about Lion King being your favorite film, there's a bit where I think Mufasa's just died and Simba's laid on the rock looking out, and then you see the smoke go out, and as the smoke goes out, it actually spells the word sex in the actual.
I've never noticed smoke.
That, dude. Honestly, I'll send you a link to it. It's a shame we can't put little things up on. Maybe that's something we can work on later on, where we can do all this kind of stuff. So yeah, but that happens a lot in a lot of different Disney films, where they will put the word sex in there and stuff like that, and there'll be like images. I think there was an old The Little Mermaid. There was the first ever video case cover that came out.
That got a lot of controversy for being sexist.
A picture of a cock, wasn't it?
Yeah,
there was a picture of a cock in there, and it was like, and they banned it, and like apparently now that video is worth a fucking fortune because it's so hidden away. But there's a lot of like, I was talking to Shay, there's like the masonry side of stuff with symbolization that's going on, and there's a scene in The Mighty Ducks where one of the kids is wearing a helmet, and there's these weird symbols on the helmet which are being seen around the whole of the kind of pedophilia kind of stuff, if you know what I mean. So
sorry, Stretch, there's a thing popping up saying remaining meeting time again.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're couple of technical faults. It's meant to be SFX, but it was distorted that much. It said sex, but did it? That's the thing, Stretch. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot more to it. I'll look it up and
absolutely send it on
and stuff like that. But yeah, going down. And apparently, the vice president of Disney was arrested for sexually abusing a 7-year-old girl too.
That's right. Yeah, that was one of the lawsuits that it's not. I don't have specific lawsuits, but I have specific things here. That was one of them. Was the pedophilia? Yeah. It wasn't just him either. There was a group of them.
Yeah, and apparently they hired somebody who was done for pedophilia and stuff like that, and he ended up working on a lot of the shows and stuff like that, which is obviously strange because how did he get through the network with that, with being so well known for the crimes that he's committed, if you get what I mean. So there's a lot of underlying facts of like these big corporate companies where
people think they can get away with that sort of shit.
Yeah.
That kind of gets into the Hollywood elitist side of things, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're looking at somewhere where it's like Disney's so child orientated, isn't it? You know what I mean? And it's like, this is the perfect way we can get children. Do you get what I mean? It's like we can subliminally fuck these children. Again, another symbol bit. There was you know the film The Flight of the Navigator. You ever seen that with the kid?
I've never seen it, but I know a little bit about it.
Well, there's a bit where the kid comes out of the ship and that, and then the steps that are going down, the actual steps on there is symbolizations of these fucking organizations of like pedophilia and stuff like that on the actual steps going down. Again, something I'll send you later, and if anybody wants to look it up, I'm sure you can find it. A lot of this stuff, guys, you can literally like Google, or you can, you know, like basically how we found this kind of stuff. Shockingly enough, I was talking to Jace about it, and I think I was looking up some Disney stuff, and lo and behold, fucking TikTok found me a load of fucking videos on this kind of shit as well, which is scary because obviously our phones are being fucking tapped and stuff like that. So if I do get killed or anything like that, guys, please go after Disney, because
we may have a technical issue. In 3 minutes, we might have to shut down and restart again.
Okay, guys, so just bear with us if we jump off, and then we'll come straight back on, so don't worry too much. Blame Stretch.
It might actually be, I mean, it says 3 minutes.
We're gonna have a
good, sweet. So we're already sorted. That's good.
Yeah.
Back to the whole lawsuit thing.
Yeah.
There's been over 1,500 lawsuits against Disney, which involves sexism, pedophilia, wages. Notably, one of the main lawsuits that they've just went through right now regarding wages was Scarlett Johansson, on the fact that she wasn't getting paid the money that she was supposed to be getting paid for her new film that's just came on Disney Plus, The Black Widow. That was they were wanting to pay money from box office and not from actual money that she was due. And yet there's a thing there. I think she settled for it, but that was part of the wages as well as the sexism side of it, because the likes of Chris Hemsworth, Thor, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, Chris Evans, Captain America, they all got paid what they were supposed to get paid. Scarlett Johansson comes out with her film, Black Widow, and they don't want to pay her. They just want to give her percentages of the box office. So that was one of their most recent lawsuits that I think have just stopped last week, actually.
If she genuinely actually accepted that,
I think she settled for something badly. Like that,
yeah, but the film didn't do bad. It didn't do good in the box office, did it? Because of COVID and stuff like that. So Disney would have genuinely been laughing.
Absolutely. They would have thinking that they got. Absolutely, they would have thought they were getting a profit out of that shit, and that wasn't going to be the case. Abuse, brainwashing as well, believe it or not, plagiarism, homosexuality, film rights as well, disability suits, and I find this one quite weird. So there was at least 7 or 8 lawsuits against Disney for their media influence during the 9/11 attack. So I didn't look much into that. I thought that might be something that could be kind of discussed in a different podcast, but that's quite weird.
It is, but also just thinking though, you're saying how many lawsuits have been against Disney? Did you think?
Over 1,500.
If you think about that, that's not many law cases since 1955.
55 is when Disneyland, or the theme park was opened. They created and got their first funding in the 1930s. So yeah, I mean it is over 1,000, but
right, guys. Sorry, give us 2 seconds. We'll be right back with you. We just got to jump off for like literally, hopefully just 1 minute, but we'll be right back. So please just bear with us a sec.
God damn it.
Got me stuck inside my feet.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry about that.
Technical issues. No, don't worry about it.
There's always somebody to blame, and I'm sure we'll blame the same people, Jace?
Yeah, fucking Disney.
So where were we? So we're talking about the lawsuits and stuff like that, basically. So yeah, in my eyes, I don't genuinely think that's many lawsuits.
It's not, but I think
I think they must have like sexual harassment cases. They must have.
Oh yeah, so
financial cases.
I think it's weird on the ones that they have. To be fair,
right.
The numbers, not so much, but what it's about is a bit weird. I mean, plagiarism. Fuck does that even mean? What were they doing to get that for a lawsuit? You know what I mean? I can see the homosexuality side of it because they really promoted anti-Semitism through their cartoons, and homosexuality wasn't one of their
Dude, it was only like fucking 10 years ago that homosexuality was actually accepted in the armed forces. So you got to look at it like,
yeah.
It's around and it's going to be around for a long time still. It doesn't matter what happens. The same with racism. You know, it's getting more pushed out, but racism will always be there, unfortunately. And any kind of isms is always going to be around, but it's hopefully going to be a lot
isms.
A lot of isms.
Isms.
There's a lot of isms.
Interesting.
Kevinism. Everybody needs a bit of Kevin in them.
Isms.
That sounds really bad, but hey.
The pedophilia, though. I'm not surprised coming from the company that they are, but Hollywood elitists, that'll fall under the same category. They'll all fall under. There's a definite that he was part of the Hollywood elitists back in the 30s and 40s and 50s growing up, especially the fact that he was a well-known neo-Nazi that attended Nazi parties, as well as hosted Nazi parties, and then you get nothing's done by that, no controversy around that sort of shit whatsoever, and then it just moves on, and all of a sudden he's got a park, he's got loads of money, and this and that, and blah blah blah. So
there's just a lot of stuff. Like when you're an elitist, it gets so quickly pushed under the fucking carpet and moved away from the party, you know. And it's, I mean, we could sit here and go into conspiracies and stuff like that, fucking literally until our heads explode. You know what I mean? There is so much going on. I'd like to believe in my lifetime that there isn't these conspiracies. Do you get what I mean? It would be nice to know that.
I mean, I would say, you know what? Let's do a podcast on Hollywood elitists, but it's a deviation from Disney, but still part of the idea of the pedophilia thing. Anybody that knows the child actor Corey Haim and
Corey Feldman as well.
Corey Feldman, that's the one.
Yeah.
So Corey Haim, obviously, he was raped as a child actor. I don't think that was a thing. That's something that I would definitely want to look into.
I don't know, dude. If you looked into fucking Charlie Sheen, the stuff he's got up to in his lifetime.
I know the stuff he's got up to. Absolutely. I fucking looked into him a lot. I think like with Corey Haim, because he took his own life after, I think it was Stand By Me. And then Corey Feldman, he was a victim as well.
No, Corey Feldman did Stand By Me. Corey Haim did. He died. He died of an overdose, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that was later, well down the route. I think that was only about 10, 15 years ago that he died. I'm not too sure, but
no, it was a lot now because Corey Feldman now is in his 40s and 50s, so it's definitely a lot longer than that. Corey Haim died when he was a child or a teenager. Sorry,
no. He was in his 40s when he died. Hold on,
was he?
Yeah, dude.
I know Corey Feldman.
2010, he died. Age
2010.
38.
Right. Okay. There's a massive documentary out with Corey Feldman that went into the Hollywood elitists, and he actually fucking the documentary is out. I can't remember what it was called. It was like Dark Side of Hames or some shit like that. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Corey Feldman released it on his website.
He was
very scared of.
Absolutely, he had to hide. Yeah, the Hollywood elitists. There was He tried. I think he tried to name drop a few, and he just didn't. But anyway, Hollywood elitist pedophilia of Disney, all the lawsuits and shit. It's mental. It's mental to think.
It's a scary fucking world, but obviously we want to kind of keep this at the Disney kind of thing. And you know, like I said, when you're seeing all these things with conspiracies involved with Disney, with pedophilia and subliminal messages and stuff like that, it could all be like complete fucking trash. Do you get what I mean? It could be people that are making this shit up. Like Stretch said,
that's it. The money. Yeah,
money, and it's all about like almost like bribery and stuff like that and blackmail. Do you know what I mean? Like to get look at the Michael Jackson stuff that went on. You know, whether you believe he was or wasn't, like personally in my eyes, I don't think he was. I would just think he was a guy that was never allowed to be a child. Because Jackson 5 and then progressing up. The dude had a camera in his face from 5 years old. Do you know what I mean?
There's a lot of controversy around that. And I mean, despite whether he is or not, the guy could fucking move, and he was a great singer. He was a great artist.
Great entertainer, man. He was just like, but what I'm saying, like, obviously I don't want to go off in it, but this is all stuff that, like, there was a lot of cases where the guys turned around and said Michael Jackson fucking raped them and stuff like that. And then it was found out to be complete bullshit. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, we don't know what the right and wrongs are with what's going on with the elitist. You know, this could all be stuff that's pre-made up by the government, by the fucking reporters, you know what I mean, by the media to make money.
I haven't seen the documentary of Michael. I've not seen it.
No, I do. He definitely was. See, I just don't know. I don't know whether he was just made to be like that, if you know what I mean. I just can't fucking. I don't know. Like I say,
the whole controversy with Macaulay Culkin as well, and I mean, he's denied it all.
Exactly. He's come out and said, why has he got to hide anything? Why has he got to hide anything? Michael's dead. Do you get what I mean? He could turn around now and say, yeah, actually, he fucking raped the shit out of me, but he's not. He's denied it all. He said he was just a genuine nice guy. There was somebody else that talked about him. Not Dave Chappelle. It was Chris Tucker, I think, or something. Another famous actor, and he was like, Michael was just a nice bloke. He was just he just wanted to have fun. Do you know what I mean? Because he never had it when he was growing up. The
Media
guy
is
had
the fucked up thing.
Camera in. So I don't know. Maybe I've got to look into it a bit more. But I'd like to
definitely something to look into. Talk about maybe in a different podcast. I think that's definitely something that we could do. Then people would be interested to see that if we put in a little bit of extensive research into that and show up dead.
Yeah. I'm driving to Paris anyway, so.
That's it. So on the lawsuit side of stuff, since 1955, 23 people have died in Disneyland. 23. It's not a lot, but I mean, it's still a bit. Some of it was stupidity on just adults standing up on rides. One of them, there was a legend behind the guy who was beheaded on the roller coaster because he stood up. The guy did stand up, but he wasn't beheaded. His head got thumped off or something and died instantly. His head didn't come off. But another one was, I think it was a teenager or a child jumped into the water at the Pirates of the Caribbean ride and swam across, drowned. A lot of it was stupidity. A lot of it was neglect. By 23 people. And I think lawsuits were filed on that shit as well. Well,
you got to look at like the health and safety of things now is completely different to what it was fucking 20, 30, 40.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, there's so much more to it. I mean, there was even that case with Alton Towers with the guys who on the Smiler who lost their legs and stuff like that. It's negligence, wasn't it? At the end of the day, it was. So you can't really blame a theme park in certain aspects or the name of a theme park. It's the person.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting. And that's not many people, to be honest, in the whole, nearly fucking 70 odd years that it's been.
Yeah. And I mean, their first park was California, but even like their biggest park is known as Florida. Or there's Disneyland Paris as well. I don't know how many parks they actually have. I probably should have looked into that, but California was the first park.
I think they're doing one in the UK, aren't they? They're looking at.
Yeah, they are. They want to do one in the UK. I think they've actually just got the go ahead for it, but I don't know where the location's going to be.
Who knows?
That'd be interesting.
That is interesting. So I've missed some of these messages in here. I do apologize, guys. Media is the devil. It is, Charlotte. It's fucking the brainwashing's unreal. What was a film that scared you as a kid? I don't know. What kind of film? What film do you reckon scared you as a kid? Was there any Disney parts of Disney that fucking freaks you out or anything like that? Like the Black Cauldron, that was quite fucking spooky, man.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, that wasn't Disney, was it?
Yeah.
Was that Disney?
Yeah.
That shit freaked me out at one point because it was the big cunt with the big nose.
Right.
But it was Disney because they put him across as looking like a Jew, and then he was out wanting to steal children, the child snatcher.
Anti-Semitism.
And that was one of the biggest controversy. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Shit, fuck, that guy's steering in my head right now.
It's insane. No, I don't think there was. I think I was very fucking weirded out by a lot of Disney stuff, like we were saying earlier with Dumbo, with the drunkenness, with the pink elephants, and then you got Alice in Wonderland with the whole. That was.
I loved that shit. I mean, I've always liked that sort of weird style stuff, even as a kid.
Yeah, it's just fucking crazy to think that's what like films were made like that, and it's just wonder how many of them are on LSD while they were fucking making this shit. Do you know what I mean? It's insane.
Yours isn't a Disney film. What is it, Nath?
Mine. Oh, what scared you then, Nath, as a kid? What fucking film? I'm trying to think. Jaws fucking shit me up as a kid. Like, and it's one of my favorite films. Like, well, it is my favorite film, but
I don't know if I have a film that I was scared of when I was a kid. I mean, I've seen lots of things. I used to watch horror films back then too.
Dude, I was fucking all about horror, mate.
I
think what scared me about Jaws was the fact that you didn't know what was underneath you in the water, and like I lived down in Torquay in the English Riviera, and it's like beaches.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
I seen Jaws. Okay. Sorry, I seen Jaws, and
Labyrinth.
I've seen all four of them, and the first Jaws looked more realistic than Jaws 4.
Dude, Jaws 2
is an older
Jaws 2
film.
was great. 3 and 4 should never existed. I'm sorry.
4 should definitely not fucking existed. That is a fucking abomination.
The thing is, like, Jaws to me, like, I could go on about it. Jaws is my favorite film. But I think because I was so young when I think I was 4 or 5 when I watched it. And it was the whole, like, the fucking leg floating down when Quinn got bit by the shark.
Yeah.
At my age, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, now a lot of kids are desensitized to films and stuff like that. But when I was younger, seeing a leg floating down or seeing somebody being bitten by a shark was so fucking scary, man. It was like, it was done so
you have
well.
to remember though, when you were younger, even when I was younger, we didn't have documentaries on how people did things. Like it was just, that's how it is. We did this. This is the film. Go watch it. Same way, like to Alice.
There's no making of. There was nothing.
Dracula 2000. Nave says the Labyrinth. Back then, it was just them creating films, and then they didn't explain it. Now people are understanding it's SFX, it's makeup, it's latex, and all that random shit.
You can go on YouTube and watch a making of a film. Do you know what I mean? And how they did it all well. We didn't have shit like that. We didn't even have like videos growing up. There was no fucking like special menu features or anything like that, man. You just got the film and that was it. Do you know what I mean? And
that's it, exactly. So
I can see where you're coming from, Dave, with the Labyrinth. I think that was quite freaky as a kid. The goblins and stuff like that. Great film.
Is that David Bowie?
Yeah. Great film, man. The Dark Crystal. The Dark Crystal is one of my favorite films as well.
Have you seen the new one that they brought out on Netflix?
Dude, the series, the whole series.
Dude.
I was like one of the people that were out there trying to volunteer to get this fucking up and running and up and made and stuff. I was fucking fascinated. I still am fascinated by The Dark Crystal. I think it's just one of those amazing fantasy films.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I sat down with when it first came out on Netflix. I sat down with my older child, and we sat and watched it. It was great.
So good, and I'm so glad they used just like puppetry as well. It's just fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
But
what do we go here? Here's something, right? One part of Walt Disney's death, right? He put a small percentage of money into his will for the first man in the world to get pregnant.
Okay. That's
right.
Yeah.
That's weird, right?
Weird, but like I said to you earlier, it's happening to a certain extent.
It is. I mean,
so was the first like transsexual person, trans who got pregnant, do they get that fucking wealth?
No, because their thinking pattern is fucking stupid. Now I can go through the whole thing with Dave Chappelle right now, and I 100% I back him on what he says. What I say is what I said. I ain't going back. But I think, and it's not very clear in his will, because back then, if you're a man, you didn't be a chick. If you're a chick, you weren't a man. It's very clear that it's a man back then get pregnant. So I think it's the first male to get pregnant, and I think that's already happened. Actually, I think there was. Yeah, I think I remember I read something years ago, and it was a guy that got pregnant. Yeah, I think the film with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger was based around that man that got pregnant, because that was the film Junior.
Yeah. Right.
So I think that's happened actually.
So we need to look into that.
I will fucking not look into that. I can live without looking into that.
Okay. Long dude in tight pants walking upside that. Yeah, I get you, Nath. I get what you're talking about.
Dracula 2000, like a normal weekend.
For fuck's sake. It's not happening. Men can't get pregnant. Of course a man can't get pregnant. I don't want to go into that kind of thing, because you can cause so many fucking ups and downs with it. It's a whole fucking podcast on its own, really. But that's crazy that he put that in his will that long ago.
Yeah, absolutely. It just kind of shows his thinking pattern. Like, he was a weird fucking guy.
Yeah, but so was Hitler, man. You can see why they were friends, mate. I mean, if you look into Mein Kampf and stuff like that, man.
That's it. Speaking on the weird aspects of Disney, right? Do you know the staff at Disneyland, every staff member at Disneyland has been trained to deal with customers who arrive to scatter ashes of their dead relatives? Because, and you would think that this is just a random thing, but so many people throughout the world travel to Disneyland just so they can scatter their relatives' ashes in Disneyland, and the staff are trained to combat that sort of thing. What a random thing to do. Like, oh, hi guys, I'm showing up at my job interview to watch and work here at Disneyland. Yeah, no worries. So we're going to put you through an Undertaker course. Great.
What the fuck? But then see that there's the bad side of that. But then I think there's a thing where, I could be wrong, but I know a lot of them, the employees there are all taught fucking sign language, so they can deal with like kids with disabilities and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? I think that's fucking phenomenal.
See, I thought that was just choreographer for the martial arts Disney style to it.
For fuck's sake. But
I say what I say.
But then, like I say, stuff like that I think is fucking phenomenal. That's something that's well above a lot of things. You know, I've seen a lot of videos with it involved and stuff like that. And I know people with disabilities that have gone to Disney and been treated like fucking royalty. Do you know what I mean? And that's one thing you promote with disabilities and stuff like that, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation and all that kind of stuff.
I think they had a massive deal with Make-A-Wish. I think they still do with that Make-A-Wish Foundation. Obviously, that's not a thing we have here in the UK, but I think that's a big thing that they have over there. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, despite all the controversy around Disneyland, the creators, even Walt Disney back then, everybody within the company are trying their hardest to kind of overcome that shit. And because they're trying to overcome it, they've come under fire because they're again now brainwashing children and adults, and they're trying to change characters. They're trying to force upon sexualities. And I mean, it's fine for some people like me and you, yeah? But if you've got a kid watching Disney and they're trying to brainwash a kid through stupid shit a kid shouldn't be learning about, like the LGBT community.
We've talked about that a lot. That a lot.
And anybody under 10 shouldn't be learning that shit. So it's like they try and promote that shit on their new shows that they're bringing out. Even
like you say, they're trying to push. It's almost like forcing people to believe in something. You know?
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to jump on the bandwagon with modern society and try and force that shit down your throat to try and get away from the controversy that they've had in the past.
You should be made. You should believe in stuff yourself. You should like look into stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's why I'm not into like the religion stuff, because it's forced religion. I don't. Yeah. If you need something to believe in it, but don't be forced into believing that.
Like I'm religious. I'm a Jedi.
But like even like the veganism side, you know, I would never push that on my own children. I'd want them to make that choice themselves. Do you get what I mean? And like look at the rights and wrongs with it. That's not for me to decide my child should be like that, which is difficult. But it's also like I was 41 years old when I decided to go vegan. So what is taking?
I'm slowly moving down the vegan route, but it's very slow.
Yeah, but it's something. Do you know what I mean? But what I'm not trying to go into a whole vegan thing again. But what I'm saying is I made that choice. Do you get what I mean? It was like I wasn't forced into that side of things. I thought, I'm ready to do that. And it's the same. You know, if you want to go and believe there's somewhere where we go when we die, you believe in that. You're not pushed into believing that. Do you get what I mean? So this is I'm sorry, I'm probably going completely off topic, but it's the whole force thing that I was saying about you know, people being
Jedi, the Force.
Yeah. But,
Disney, LucasArts.
But there's more to it, like you say that. But with like again with subliminal messages and stuff like that, it's almost like you're being pushed in that direction, and that's what's bad. You know, it needs to be laid off. And you're doing vegan tonight? Oh, good on you.
Speaking of the vegan thing, just in reactions of a comment weeks ago that I couldn't reply back to, palm oil is actually 100% vegan. It's from 4 different fruit pods that is actually 100% vegan. Just thought I'd chuck that in there. Anyway, moving on.
So you know what I was talking about? Am I going to get attacked for fucking killing orangutans again, or are we going to lay that one on the fucking?
No, we're gonna set up a new podcast for
that. I'm not coming to that one. I'll cancel that one. You can come on your own. You can't.
So one of back to lawsuits on Disney, right? And it's maybe I wrote this part down, and this was one of the first things I wrote down because I found it quite odd. One of their lawsuits that they had, and they notably double figures, I think it was, is witchcraft.
Okay.
So their seance book that they've got in the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland or Florida is actually originally a real 14th century book of witchcraft.
Okay.
And they actually have had lawsuits around witchcraft doing that thing, like flaking skin and boils, warts, random stupid shit like that. And some lawsuits have actually been settled because of it. Like they've actually admitted to having that sort of energy around it, and they've settled on lawsuits for it, which is weird, you know.
You saying that you remember just before we started, I was on about this thing.
Yeah.
Which in rock and stuff like that, it's a sign of the devil. Yeah, the 666. So 666, whatever it is. But in Disney, there's a lot of this, and again, I'm going to show you later what I'm talking about with this symbolization. There's a lot of characters in the Disney cartoons and that make these finger gestures. Again, you know, you look at the pedophilia world of what's going on, and there's the people doing this in, you know, there's hand signals and stuff like that are being shown on the media by the hierarchy and the elitists and stuff like that. Again, it's going back to showing almost like Satanism or what you're saying that's actually involved with the Disney side. I will send you stuff over and let you have a look at it, but it's quite scary, mate, to be honest. Like, is this going on, or is this just a genuine mistake, or do you get what I mean?
That kind of stems back to the Hollywood elitists, isn't it? I mean, they were all involved in that sort of shit, the whole baby's blood, the whole
the
sacrifices and stuff, and Walt Disney, he's got to be in part of that. It's something that I probably should have looked into. But I think I might still do that, and yeah,
that could be a very, very long podcast.
absolutely. And that could be a fuck. You know what? I think it would be a long one too, because there's so much you talk about, and that's not just Walt Disney elitist pedophilia. That's talking about blood rings, baby's blood, actors like Mel Gibson and all that sort of shit too. It's fucked.
There's a lot more to it, mate. There's a lot more. Like you say, you could keep going with stuff like that. That's literally a fucking like Alice says, do it in parts. We could do a fucking series on that shit, mate. I'll probably end up getting off, but at least I'm all right. Some aspects of things. So.
Yeah, let them come to the Scottish Highlands, the fuckers. I'll bury them in the mountains.
He stood there with his fucking war paint on the cunts.
I'm going to look out my war paint. I have it. I haven't used it. There's so I was thinking on various things that you said here about showing aspects of, like, say, the Disney thing and all that. For anybody that is watching still, we have actually succeeded in creating TikTok for the podcast. So what I think will be a good idea is if we can cut out little segments on, say, kind of talking about that, and then going straight into actually showing what we're talking about and put that on TikTok. So that might be a good idea to do that.
Yeah, hopefully then, guys, you can actually get a glimpse of what, if you haven't got time to look this stuff up, you can have a glimpse of actually what I'm talking about or what Jace is talking about. So that's something we'll work on for sure. Definitely.
I don't know how to do the link thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this here. If you bear with me, guys. Switch account. So anybody that is actually on TikTok. I don't know if you can see that because it's so bright. That is our TikTok right there. If you guys want to go over and add it, it's IHYK21. And it's brand new. It was made, an hour ago? So have a shot, have a look, have a skeg.
There's nothing on it yet, guys, but we will be adding stuff, so don't worry. We'll get there.
Yeah, it's just made today, so we'll get around to doing all that sort of shit.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or we're going to knock it on the head there? And
yeah, I think so. I think we covered everything we wanted to cover. The aspects of Walt Disney being a freak.
Very, very strange man. Very strange man.
Absolutely.
But very, very interesting man as well.
He was. He actually, you know what? He's still revered today as an all-American saint, an all-American hero. It's weird. Even throughout his neo-Nazi days and the everyday that he is to this day, still revered as one of the all-Americans.
Yeah, definitely. I am genuinely going to go and look more into it as well. There's a lot of stuff that you've said that's made me go, actually, I want to fucking read about that and learn a little bit more info. But yeah, guys, I think we're knock on the head there. We're unsure of what we're going to do next week. So we might just leave it to a little bit of a surprise or something and just try not to wing it as much as we have done over the last week.
Always keep my promises. I fucking promised every camp watching, we're not going to wing it next week. We're going to have a topic. We are going to be prepared. And I'm going to make sure that we are. We
should be more back to normal next week as well. A lot of stuff going on in the background should all be back to normal. So it should be back to Wednesday nights. Again, guys, if you got friends that want to come and watch this, please get them to subscribe. The more subscriptions we get, the closer we get to actually promoting this a lot more than we want to and actually getting it out to more people. So all the help is always appreciated. If you can, just like this actual video as well, that just gets us out there a little bit more. But yeah, thanks for coming in again.
Subscribe, share. Same with TikTok. Share that if you can. Subscribe. For TikTok, I think you need 1,000 followers before you can go live. And what we want to do is on some days we might do maybe an hour's live session on. It won't be as in depth and as crude and as fuckery as what we do on YouTube because we have a little bit more free reign here. On TikTok, it won't be as bad. but we will do some certain live events on there.
Yeah, we might do like some Q&As, questions and answers.
Yeah.
And run it live from there and stuff. So
even some topic ideas, maybe watching us doing a little bit of chatting, shitting, facial expressions while we're doing something in the background, like gaming, Battlefield. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's ideas that we've got to do.
Yeah, definitely. But again, thank you for coming in, guys. We really appreciate it. We really look forward to these weekly things, and hopefully if we get a little bit more down the road, we can start doing it twice a week and stuff like that. That would be really cool. But we do have like private lives going on. We do work and we do have families and stuff like that. So it's very difficult to guarantee any fucking days that we can do. But hopefully Wednesdays will be back to normal from next week. But thanks again, guys. Much appreciated and much love from my side.
Have fun, guys, and I will see you next week. If you have any ideas whatsoever, get them in the comments, get them in the TikTok. We've got the Q&A up and running on TikTok. The email address is there as well. If anyone wants to email some private shit, either way, we're here to get in touch. So we'll all see you next week.
See you later. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.